Hello students, welcome back to Mechanical Maintenance Practicum. In this module, we will learn about the natural frequency of the system and also resonance phenomenon. As you have already learned in the lecture, resonance will occur if the system is operating in the same frequency as natural frequency. Before we start with the experiment, I want to show you the measurement system that we use in this practicum. For sensing element, we use accelerometer. Accelerometer is a passive sensor. That's why we need a power supply and also power amplifier for accelerometer. The data from accelerometer is recorded by data acquisition. In this module, I use National Instruments 6000 series. And the data acquisition will be controlled by LabVIEW program. As a result, all the measurement data will also be displayed in LabVIEW program. We move to the experiment. In this module, we will conduct the bump test experiment to find the natural frequency of the system. We will perform the bump test experiment by giving impact excitation force to the system. We will measure the vibration response from the system. The vibration response data that we get from the measurement is in time domain. But we can transform time domain data to frequency domain data by performing Fourier transform. In LabVIEW program, you can see in the lower graph, I show you the spectrum from vibration response. And you see there are three peaks. There are three spectrum peaks which may indicate the natural frequency of the system. The first one is 3.2. You can see on your right. The second one is 6.8, and then the last one is 14. In this module, we will conduct the bump test experiment in three axes: x-axis, y-axis, and also z-axis. For the first experiment, I will conduct the experiment in x-axis. Before we impact the system, we have to start the program first. And then after the program is running, we can give the impact excitation force to the system. After it stops, then you will see two graphs. The upper graph is time domain, and also the lower graph is spectrum or frequency domain from the vibration response. In here, you will see four spectrum peaks, which may indicate the natural frequency of the system. The first one is 3.2 Hz, second one is 6.8 Hz, and then third one is 14 Hz, and then the last one is 33 Hz. For the second experiment, we will conduct the bump test experiment in y-axis. LabVIEW program is already running. Then we can directly give impact excitation force to the system. On the lower graph, you see the spectrum of vibration response. There are four spectrum peaks. The first one is peak at 3.2 Hz. The second one is peak at 6.8 Hz. The third one is 14 Hz. And then the last one is 33 Hz. For the third experiment, we will conduct the bump test experiment in Z-axis. On the lower graph, you see the spectrum of vibration response, and there are 4 spectrum peaks. The first one is peak at 3.2 Hz, the second one is 6.8 Hz, the third one is 14 Hz, and then the last one is 33.2 Hz. After we know the natural frequency of the system, then we will attach an unbalanced mesh. As you have already learned in balancing module, you know that an unbalanced mesh will produce a vibration in the same frequency as operating frequency. That's why we will operate this system in the same frequency as natural frequency, so that we can learn the resonance phenomenon. In this laboratory apparatus, we have 2 shafts driven by DC motor. The power from DC motor is transmitted by belt. The first shaft will have the same speed as DC motor. Meanwhile, the speed of second shaft will be reduced to 0.6, which means if the DC motor is operating at 100 RPM, then the speed of second shaft will be about 60 RPM. Before we start the experiment, we have to predict the DC motor speed such that the resonance occur. Based on bump test experiment, we have 4 natural frequencies, and all the natural frequency is converted to RPM unit. This is the table of our experiment data. For the first, third, and fifth data, we will record the vibration magnitude while resonance occur. Meanwhile, for the second and fourth data, we will pick a random DC motor speed between natural frequencies. For the sixth and seventh data, we also pick a random DC motor speed above 1000 RPM. And as a result, we will compare all vibration magnitude data. This is our first experiment. We operate the DC motor at 192 RPM, and then we run the LabVIEW program. Okay, it finished. And from the lower graph, you see the spectrum of vibration response. The vibration is occur at 3.2 Hz, and the vibration magnitude is about 0.16 G. From the video, you can see clearly that the mode shape of our first resonance is horizontally. For the second experiment, we choose the speed of DC motor between the first natural frequency and also the second natural frequency. In here, I choose about 360 RPM. We run the LabVIEW program. And at the lower graph, we have the vibration spectrum. And we see the vibration occur at 6 Hz, and the vibration magnitude is only about 0.008 G. This is the third experiment. In here, we operate the DC motor at 408 RPM. We run the LabVIEW program. And at the lower graph, we have the vibration spectrum. We see the vibration occur at 6.8 Hz, and the vibration magnitude is about 0.04 G. In the video, you can see clearly that the mode shape of our second resonance is vertically. For the fourth experiment, we choose the speed of DC motor between the second natural frequency and also the third natural frequency. In here, I choose the RPM is about 720 RPM. We run the LabVIEW program. And from the lower graph, we see the vibration spectrum. From the cursor, we can see that the vibration occur at 12.2 Hz and the vibration magnitude is only about 0.04 G. For the fifth experiment, we operate the DC motor at 840 RPM. We run the LabVIEW program. And at the lower graph, you see the vibration spectrum. In here, we see the vibration is occur at 14 Hz and the vibration magnitude is about 0.8 G. In the video, you can see clearly the mode shape of our third resonance, which is vibrating in Z-axis. This is our sixth experiment data. We choose the speed of DC motor is above 1000 RPM. And in here, I choose the RPM is about 1100 RPM. We run the LabVIEW program. And from the vibration spectrum, we have the vibration occur at 18.4 Hz and the vibration magnitude is about 0.09 G. For our last experiment data, we will measure the vibration around 1300 RPM. We run the LabVIEW program. And from the vibration spectrum, we have the vibration occur at 21.6 Hz and the vibration magnitude is about 0.12 G. This is the table of our experiment data. On your right, I plot a graph to represent our experiment data. I plot a graph with DC motor speed as our x-axis and also vibration magnitude as our y-axis. The blue dot over here is our experiment data. The interesting part is, first, we focus on the vibration magnitude when the system is operating normally. As you can see here, the vibration magnitude will increase if the DC motor speed increase. Why? Because the centrifugal force will be bigger and bigger if the omega or the DC motor speed increase. Remember, we install the unbalanced mesh on our system and we rotate it. Therefore, it will produce centrifugal force according to this formula. In conclusion, our system follows the linear system characteristic, which means if the input force is bigger and bigger, then the vibration response or system output will also be bigger and bigger. Second, we focus on the vibration magnitude when the resonance occurs. Take a look at the first resonance. Although the speed is below 200 RPM, but the vibration magnitude is bigger than the vibration magnitude when the speed is above 1000 RPM. Take a look at the third resonance. The vibration magnitude is 7 times bigger than the vibration magnitude when the speed is above 1000 rpm. Thus, our system become unpredictable if the resonance occur, or our system will not follow the linear system characteristic anymore. Another interesting part is, take a look at the second resonance. Why the vibration magnitude is the smallest? Maybe you should think about it and we will discuss on the practicum.